Darn it. I hate when that camera doesn't get center. Well, to start this off, I've got some good news and some bad news. Let's start with the good news, I suppose. Normally I would start with the bad news first, but honestly, since the bad news is going to take the vast majority of this video, probably, I'll start with the good news. Miraculously, and I'm very much emphasizing that word, I slept a lot better than I thought I would. The bad news is, I am still incredibly angry after what happened last night. I really wish I could say that my low was that Horsehead softball loss. Because aside from that, it was really shaping up to be a great day. And for all intents and purposes, it still was, as I set out everything I wanted to do. For that reason alone, it was great. But there is no greater, mood killer than what wound up happening. Well, I shouldn't say that. I mean, there are a few things that were technically worse than what happened last night, but man, this one truly irked me. In fact, before I get into what happened last night, I need to tell you just how great yesterday was. I mean, yeah, I mentioned that Horsehead's lost. Darn it. Why does the camera... Ever since they added the straightening... There we go. Okay. It should be center. Yeah, I said Horsehead's lost yesterday, and again, that really should have been my low. But A, I actually had a lot of fun. B, I mean, look, now that, Horsehead doesn't have to worry about going to the stack tournament today, the seniors on the team were able to enjoy prom properly. So, I only hope they enjoyed themselves. And C, given everything that literally happened on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I'm just going to go and say it. Horseheads is going to win sectionals in softball. They are. If I were a betting man, I'd be betting my life savings on it. That's how sure I am. And after the game, I got myself some lunch at Atlas, of all places. Which, you know what? I got to put Atlas on the Cutler list. I do. And because Atlas is, I know in corny, Anelio's, everyone says Anelio's, but you know what? Atlas is really great too. I'm actually kind of surprised I haven't put it on the Cutler list yet, but don't worry, that post is coming. I'm going to do that. I then visited a friend whose daughter was playing Little League softball over in Painted Post. Went to see her play for a while. I had a lot of fun. It was actually great seeing my friend again because I hadn't seen her in literal months. Go to church, go to dinner with my father and help him watch my nephews. And then I go out hung out at Harry's for a while. I hung out at Pick's Pub for a while. Went to Illegal for a few minutes. Hung out at Patrick's for a while. And I was heading home. Up until after Patrick's, it was awesome. I'm on cloud 9 at this time. And oh gosh. Like, my high was literally everything that happened yesterday up until after Patrick's. And my act of kindness was showing support for my friend and her daughter. So, yeah. So, I guess if you didn't see my, well, I don't think, unless you're friends with me on Facebook, you're not able to see my live vlog. I mean, my short kind of gave away some of what happened last night, but for reference, I live right here in Elmira, on Main Street. In fact, I can quite literally see Main Street outside of my window. And outside my window, there is a stoplight facing that way, and there's a stoplight facing behind me. Now, at this point, because I actually turned in early, this was like, you know what, I don't think it was even 9, it wasn't even 20 of 10, and I decided to turn in early. This is how early it was. I'm essentially going home for the night to relax. That's all I'm doing. A cop stopped me and pulled me over when I literally one right turned away from going home. Because when coming on Main Street to go back inside my apartment complex, I gotta make a one right turn here, and then another right turn to go into my parking lot, and a third right turn for actually parking into my parking spot. So I literally made 3 right turns, or a left, if you will. That's probably the only funny. Depending on how you see it, that might be the only funny thing I say this whole video. The guy stops me like, I'm home, man. I am home. I'm literally ending my evening doing nothing. And he calls me for violating a traffic violation. Are you kidding me? Specifically, like, according to him, I ran a red light. And I turned, again, right to go home when you can turn right on red. I'm essentially home at this point. And the guy stopped me and gave me a ticket. Although I stop, I pull over. I'm actually quite courteous to both of the. Yeah, there's actually 2 cop cars that followed me. Because apparently cops really have nothing better to do. And I want to make one thing clear. I was very, courteous to the cops the entire time. I didn't do or say anything that's going to incriminate me. So, the one guy walks up to me, he asks, he tells what's going on. And then this other lady cop who shows up on the other side, which actually kind of, startled me a little bit, because was not seeing that coming, shines a light in my face, and she accuses me of mean mugging her. You're shining a light in my face, and it's pretty bright. Pretty sure anyone would be mean mugging you at that point, now wouldn't they? And then again, it's pretty freaking rude that you're going to stop a guy when he's literally 2 feet away from home. Well, you're not literally 2 feet, but you get the idea. Although, I want to make one thing. I need to call this cop out for a couple things, though. For starters, I mean, even if I were to take out the whole fact that I was home aside, throughout this whole process, not once did he ever ask if I had been drinking. I mean, I had been drinking, and if he had asked, I would have been honest and said, no, I haven't. But given the fact that this is somewhere between 9:30 and 9:45 at night, pretty dark out, obviously, I'm pretty sure the cops are, pretty much required to ask that. And this guy didn't. Which could probably give you an idea how much of a deadbeat this guy was. also, okay, I have a very strict policy. When I'm on camera, I never name names, so as not to embarrass or offend anyone, or get anyone fired. Because even when it's clearly not my intention, someone always interprets it that way. I mean, it has, hold on. I did knock on wood for that. It hasn't happened yet, but you never know. And believe me, because here's the thing. When a cop gives you a ticket, and this is, I have to call out how stupid this is too. Like, when the cop gives you a ticket, like, it says the last name of the cop that stopped you, right? It says their last name, which, I mean, having people know your first or last name isn't necessarily a good thing, but at least if it was this guy's first name, like, that's actually pretty ambiguous. I'd have to actually think of, like, I'd actually have to speculate, like, who this guy is, right? But no, it shows the guy's last name. Which, again, not necessarily a good thing. And in the case of this police officer, okay, now, I understand, and actually, let me start over. I will always have respect for the men and women who wear blue, because what they are doing is not easy. There's a lot of stress involved. It can be dangerous. The least I can do if I'm going to be stopped by a cop outside of my apartment, literally outside my apartment, so close I can really walk inside practically, I'm going to be courteous to him. I'm going to do that. The last thing that a cop needs to go through is nonsense from other people. And God, I'm so angry I'm losing my train of thought. Hold on. When you're a cop, you run a very dangerous risk of being not very well liked by a lot of people. So, again, that's why I try and be courteous and show support to the men and women who are blue. But I need to call out how stupid this guy's last name was. I'm not going to say what it is. Not completely, anyway. But I'll just simply say the guy's white and he's a cop. Folks, there are people in this country that easily get made fun of for having a weird sounding name. And I'm not only am I sure this guy's been made fun of for his last name, but I would not be surprised if this guy's been accused of being a racist. Like, good God, man. And you're a cop. Oh my gosh. Like, this totally killed the mood. This completely killed the mood. I mean, I guess there's nothing wrong with me physically if there's anything to take away from it. And it's not like the offense I had was bad. Well, any offense is bad, let's be real here. But, I mean, I wasn't speeding. Actually, I couldn't be speeding because I was slowing down. But yeah, I couldn't be speeding. In fact, I was slowing down because I was home. There's no need speed for going home. Oh my gosh. You know what? To this cap in question, you're lucky you know what? I better not see this guy off duty. I better not see this guy off duty because I'm really going to let him have it. And this guy's lucky I don't know where he lives either. Because, yeah, you'd freaking like it if I followed you when you're like 2 feet away from your house, now would you? Oh my gosh. Like, I don't freaking need this. This sucks. I mean, full stop. Until last night, the last time I had gotten stopped was February of 2023. And when that happened, the guy stopped me because I was too far to the left. But that was because the guy I was driving right next to was crowding me. And I couldn't, actually, the cop is following behind me. There's another guy right next to me, and he's crowding me. And, I mean, I can't pass the guy because the cop behind me is going to get me for speeding. So I slow down as much as I can I basically decelerate. The guy who's next to me drives forward. I get into the other lane. The cop that's behind me drives past me. He pulls to the side of the road, waits for me to pass him, and then he turns on his sirens and blinkers, and then he stops me. Which, that's stupid too. But at least when that happened, I was about 1.5 miles away from my apartment. I actually still had a little ways to go. On top of that, even though this was like a Monday or Tuesday night, the guy actually had the forethought to ask if I had been drinking, which I hadn't, but at least he took the time to ask. This joker did none of that. He never asked if I had been drinking. He was probably bored looking for something to do. And on top of that, I was home. I'm sorry, like, if a person is pretty much home, they deserve to be left alone. They certainly don't deserve a ticket for going home. That's not what the ticket was for. The point is, I was home. And that's just ridiculous. I know it's probably not a good idea for me to vent this and post on the internet, but you know what? This needs to be said. This really needs to be said. I was home and I got stopped by a cop. That's ridiculous. No matter what the circumstance is. I mean, again, I wasn't speeding. I clearly wasn't drinking and driving. You know, yeah. That's what happened. Seriously, I'm so mad I don't want to go anywhere today. Like, I almost don't even want to go to church this morning. I mean, I'm going to, but I almost don't want to. Well, it is what it is, I guess. Well, I know people find the suffering of others entertaining, so I hope someone was entertained by this. I'm not going to say the name of the song, but Last Night Is Why a certain song by the group NWA will always be relevant and never go out of style. And you know what? there is one thing that's humbling about this. Again, you know, nothing bad happened. I mean, well, aside from getting the ticket, obviously. I mean, I didn't get in an argument with the cop. I didn't get in a fight with the cop. Didn't do that. That's pretty humbling, right? I was courteous. Again, I was stone cold sober, so I wasn't drinking or driving. So, Lord knows it probably could be worse. But this is just a giant mood killer. Well, I guess the fact I'm still here right now, that's very humbling. So I am humbled I was able to make this for you guys to enjoy. And I hope a lot of you are having a better time right now than I am. And I really do hope you at least have a wonderful day. Well, this cop might have been from Elmira. And it may have been a giant mood killer, but whatever. 607 all day, baby.